What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Endless Grades video. Man, oh man, this is crazy. So I jumped on, about to make a video about the top units, but I have to report this first. So they actually have compensated everybody here who has started the game and played for the last couple of days, especially during the current event that's going on. So dear adventurers, during this event, some bugs in our system prevented some players from receiving rewards smoothly. Therefore, we have sent compensation rewards to players who have suffered losses. We have also observed your data, and although you did not suffer any losses in terms of rewards, considering the great support you have given to our game, as one of our first important customers, we're sending you compensation. I don't know what you guys got, but I got 300 summons. Unreal. I was not expecting that whatsoever today. That is obscene amount of summons. So thank you to the devs for this. I will still do the video that I was planning to do, and then I might do a summoning video on top of that because, hey, why not? I just got 300 free summons. I didn't even know I was losing rewards, to be quite honest. Okay, so anyways, the purpose of this video was to talk about some of the top units in the game and which ones you should focus on. Okay, so I'm going to break this down for you guys. We're going to do only SSR units because chances are you've been getting SSRs as you've been summoning. You should be replacing them for your SRs. They should be taking over your team. I do want to discuss some of the top units in the game. We're going to do classes, okay? So we're going to start off with tanks. The number one tank currently, in my opinion, by far, is Fiona. All right, so Fiona right now is going to be one of the easier tanks to get, but what makes her so damn good is, number one, she is tanky as hell. Number two, she deals high damage. So deals 184% attack damage to 3 enemies with the highest armor and deals additional 32% burn damage for each turn for 3 rounds. If the target is a warrior, the burn damage increases by 60% per turn. So if you're running a burn team, or even if not, just extra little bit of damage, she's incredible for that. Now, what makes her even better is this. When attacked, counterattacks once, dealing 100% attack damage. This can go up to 180%. This tank is a damage dealer plus a survivor at the same time. You get armor plus 20% and attack 15%. Not only that, but when using skills, you can reduce the armor of the target by 20% for 3 rounds, making everybody else hit way harder. And then, of course, here you got HP and normal attack damage increase plus 20%, because you guys can see here that counter of normal attack will do more damage as well. And then normal attacks reduce the target's armor by an additional 15% and also deal 24% burn damage for 4 rounds. So this is the tank you all want on your team. Now, you can pair her with Arthur if you like and have them both be very tanky and sit there and kind of just one will taunt off the other, because Arthur is good at taunting and surviving as well. He has control immunity. He has also damage reduction. So he's a great tank to help Fiona survive if someone's hitting her way too much and you want her to live, or just throw in a healer, right? So that is going to be, in my opinion, one of the most key units in the game. Speaking of healers, you get this unit, Desa, after, I believe, logging in for 7 days. Very, very good unit. So here's what he does. Attacks all enemies, dealing 500% of the total attack damage divided by the number of targets. Restores 82% of attack as HP to 2 allies for 6 rounds, and increases damage reduction by 10% for 3 rounds. So amazing for tanks and great at healing, especially off healing. You can have him as an off healer. He does pretty decent damage as well. But not only that, he has HP. He uses self heal plus 20% on himself. When an ally's HP is below 40% for the first time, he continuously restores 160% of that attack as HP to all allies for 3 rounds. And then he gets, when using a skill, reduces the target's armor by 10% for 2 rounds, and randomly dispels 1 attribute enhancement effect, removing a buff off the target. Now, I don't have these 2 unlocked yet, but I'm waiting for them. Attack 20%, control immunity is great. And then, of course, here, when defeated, increases holy damage of 2 allies by 20% for 3 rounds. Now, this is very important. The reason why is we're going to talk about the next unit, and that is going to be Sophia. She does insane amount of holy damage, and this, with that unit being dead, if it does die, which chances are it will eventually as you go up in scale with different enemies, you want to have Sophia on hand. It deals 205 attack damage to 2 random monster enemies, and additionally inflicts damage equal to 200% of the target's attack, not subject to damage, reduced damage or armor mitigation not exceeding 500% of attack. So this special does a lot of damage. But on top of that, she gives herself holy damage plus 20%, and then you can tack on the additional percent from Desa to make her hit way, way harder. She gives herself more HP for survivability. When using skills, there's a 30% chance to turn the enemy's skill target into a top unit of our positioning, lasting for 2 rounds. Now this one, I'm a little confused about. There's a 30% chance to turn the enemy's skill target into the top unit of our positioning. See, I don't understand this one. This talent still has me confused on what it does. So if anybody understands this talent, let me know in the comment section. I'm still a little confused by it. At the end of the round, heal maximum HP by 10%. This makes her very, very tanky, especially if you have a regen from Desa on her already. She can continuously keep healing herself and just doing insane nukes the entire time. So normal attacks deal 100% damage to the enemy with the highest life, which is usually the bosses, and additional damage equal to 10% of the target's max HP, which is huge for bosses. So this makes her a boss killer and someone you definitely want on your team. And then at the end of the round, deals damage to all enemies equal to 100% of their attack, not subject to reduced damage, armor mitigation, and not exceeding 500% of her own attack. So she is going to be, most of the time, your main nuke on the team. The way to get her right now is either through summoning, if you get lucky, or of course through the pass that's available for her. And as you go through it, you can get yourself enough to get her up to, I believe, 10. I got lucky to summon her once. That got her to 11. So amazing unit. Speaking of amazing units for bosses, don't sleep on her. Delia the Shepherd is so damn good, and poison in this game plays a major role, okay? So attack 2 random enemies dealing 88% 108 damage. Don't worry about that. This is what matters. Inflicts poison damage on the target equal to 10% of their max HP for 2 rounds. Now keep in mind, not all the poison effects are the same. It depends on the units you use. So for example, Artemis has poison but doesn't do the same amount of damage because hers is spec'd off of something else. So make sure you read the poison effects before you put too many poison units in. Some burn units and poison units put together are better than all poison units, for example, okay? At least from what I've noticed. So correct me if I'm wrong on that one. HP 15, attack 20%. Inflict paralysis, mark on the target for 2 rounds. Paralysis reduces skill damage 20% and is irremovable. And this is important because when you fight major bosses, their skills do the most amount of damage. So if you can reduce that damage, you're going to be surviving them a lot longer, right? Normal attacks inflict poison. This is, again, really good. But this one, see, it only reduces 5% of the maximum HP for 2 rounds rather than 10%, which is what the skill does, right? So you want to stack those. Immune to stun at the start of the battle, inflict paralysis on 2 random enemies, so great on bosses again. And then each time HP decreases, increase own attack by 5% for 4 rounds. So you absolutely want her on almost every boss fight. Like every boss fight practically. So definitely have her built up there. Now going over to the next unit here, we have Lillian the Clearheart. Now she's unique. Okay, so she does damage, but she also does healing. She's actually one of the best off healers in the game and probably the one you want to keep on the front line for you because she is just incredible at soaking damage, taking damage, and then healing up the team and also dishing out some damage. So deals 160% attack to 4 random enemies and continuously restores damage 100% attack to all allies for 6 rounds. So very good regen. HP and attack is increased. The talent here, normal attacks restore own HP by 90% of attack. And then over here you have use heal effect plus 20. Normal attack increases own attack by 10%. So you're not only healing yourself for more, but your attack is also being raised. So very, very good skill. When defeated, has a 50% chance to silence an enemy for 2 rounds, allowing you to burst damage, heal up, whatever you need to do. And then of course the last one, when own HP is below 50%, increase all allies attack by 10% and crit damage by 20% for 3 rounds. So this is a water unit or water faction unit, a very, very good one as well. And then the last one I want to talk about, there's a lot more out there, guys, but these are the units I'm currently using. I'm finding they're having the best impact, is going to be Evelyn the Frost Witch. And the reason why I like her so much is she does 4 consecutive damages, which fairly good, respectable damage as well, but also has a 60, 30, 20, and 10% chance to stun the target for 2 rounds. Look at those percentages. They're really high until you get to the last hit, which is a little lower, but you have 4 chances to stun enemies. That includes bosses, guys. So you can definitely keep a boss stun locked for quite some time. When an ally uses a skill, deals additional damage up to 80% to a random enemy target. So that's great there as well. HP and speed is increased, so she'll be attacking a little faster. And then when an ally uses a skill, there's a 20% chance to stun a random enemy. And then right here you have HP and immune to stun yourself. And then lastly, when own HP is below 80%, increase reduced damage by 20% for 5 rounds. So I use her a lot to CC opponents. So if you guys are looking for really good setup right now, this lineup has really been helping me. The only times I really ever change this is if the stun is not something that's required, I'll remove Evelyn and I'll put in Arthur to have a secondary tank, or I'll use someone like Luna here for extra damage and armor reduction, or I'll use someone here like Keel for Frost CC. And then the last one I would use once in a while is going to be the Desert Princess Isit. Now, Isit's really cool because when she gets hit, she has a chance to petrify enemies as well as when she does her skill, she has a chance to petrify. And the petrification is actually really high percentage. So those are some of the key units I've been using to progress. There's a lot of really good DPSs here, like Devin here, but is a little bit more niche based on what you're doing. And then there's other good tanks out there as well too, like Alina. But I find the team that I just talked to you guys right there about is going to be some of the better lineups you'll be able to get, and at the same time be able to help you push some content in the game. Now, some of you guys have been asking me to do a guide on Carnival. I'll tell you now, I've completed chapter 1 fully, but chapter 2, 3, 4, etc. is actually tough. I haven't had a chance to really play with the puzzles, so I know some of you guys have been requesting it. I just haven't got around to it because I've been so busy. But with that being said, I'm hella psyched about the 300 plus summons that I just got, so we're going to be doing that as well. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.